everybody, another surprise visit. Gee, I'm getting a little more than usual done, but today was my first watering day on the patio since I moved all the orchids out there, and I'm finished early. It's just about 10 to 10 and I started maybe about just about 8:30 or something. And so I want to share with you what I've done and why not all orchids are watered exactly the same and which ones are doing good. I'll show you them all. I'll bring you out here and as soon as I explain a couple of things. So thanks for joining me. And on this outdoor watering day, if it had been warmer, and I should have been a weather girl. I love doing the weather. Our weather is on and off and cooler than normal and wetter than normal, but we're still getting nice days. So it's on again, off again. And so I have them out here, but I didn't use the tap water because in the morning I have my shower. I start off warm and then I turn it to right cold and I get, you know, a real cold blast. And believe me, after you let that tap run a while, it is ice cold, too cold for the orchids. That has not warmed up. So what I did this morning was, I'm going to show you exactly what I did. I have this kind of pot, double boiler pot, the top of a double boiler pot, and I probably filled it 3/4 full, and I got just normal tap water from the sink, which is over there, and each one of the bigger ones, the traffic cones, I brought out here first, and all the traffic cones, the ones I do not ever soak in the sink, they always go in the shower in the house. So each one of them get 3/4 of a pot of water dumped over them before the fertilizer. So today is my second watering day of my schedule. So last week was black tea. Today is one of the first days for a fertilizer. So first I give them water, and then, because they're out here, and I do this when they're in the shower too, I put a pinch. I have a, I think the bees are smelling the orchids. Alrighty, I'm allergic. Get out of here. You're an unwanted guest. Go. All right. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I have a measuring spoon that says like a pinch. It gets a pinch of CalMag, and I filled a bit with water, shake it up, and then it gets a quarter, not quite a quarter of a teaspoon of fertilizer, and fill it up. And then I come out and I pour it over the ones that got the water from the pot. So that's how I do that. My CalMag I keep here. I use usually a quarter of a teaspoon to a gallon, but we have calcium in our water, so I don't push it. It's never more than a quarter of a teaspoon a gallon, sometimes a little bit less. And the fertilizer I'm using right now, and I could get better fertilizer, but it's only 2 days of the watering schedule that get this fertilizer. I believe it's 2 or 3. So this is the one I'm using. Some of you ask. And so that's about it. And a butter knife. When they're outside, it's much easier to check for scale. And sometimes, even down in where the leaves are growing out, I always keep a butter knife handy. It's not too pointed, but it's enough to go in where my fingers can't go if I see scale. It's much easier in a real good lighted situation to see that scale, so that is one thing. And so I always check, and I usually find like 2 or 3 here or there on certain ones. And over time I've noticed sometimes if there's a little injury in a leaf, scale like that. They like under the edges of the leaves. They like that. And one reason I let my leaves that are turning yellow from just a passage of time. I'm laughing because I'm in my head, I'm thinking, wrinkles, the passage of time, I leave them. Anyway, you know, weird things go through my head. So the leaves that are yellowing from the passage of time, I leave them till they're really dry. And then you can let them fall off, which is a good way too. Or when they're really dry and just about ready to fall off, I split them and I make sure I go down and get that little collar, because lots of times when they fall off, they fall above the little collar where they grow out of. And that's an area for debris to pile up, scale to pile up. So I always pull the leaf apart and pull down, and I did do that in the video. I don't know which one. I'm not very good at going back and finding out which one, but we will do it again one day soon when I have ready to go, because it is important. And if you're in a very humid area, it is something to really watch for. And if your crowns are a little deeper, I plant quite high in the bark. The bark is dry on the surface anyway, but if they're a little lower, that's another reason you want to go back and get that. I've never had crown rot because the bark is so dry on the surface, and I do plant a little dry. Now, I'm going to give you some close-ups because I want to tell you a few things. I'll give you a catch-up on the latest orchids. I'll try and do the ones I got last first. So let's get to that. I'll just unhook you from here without dropping it. Wrong. Okay, there we go. And I'll get a good hold. Camera. Okay. Now I can go out, and the mosquitoes are very bad, so they love me. Okay, let's try and do the last ones we got. Now, here is Georgia Pearl. That is what I call her because Pearl is her name, and George is where she came from, thanks to Georgia. So she is doing really good. She lost a bud. I believe it was here. And this is an old one, not from just lately, but she is flowering. And I'll tell you something about her. Now, I had to water her, even though she's in moss, and I'm not good with moss. I had to water her 2 times a week. And the plants on this little table are the ones that excuse me. They're the ones that oh dear, stay inside. So these have been in the north window, all of them. So now I went to water these ones, which get watered twice a week. And no, no, it's not the coronavirus. Sorry, I just swallowed the wrong way. These all get watered twice a week. And when I was watering them, even though this is in moss and it should last longer, I picked it up and I thought, gee, the top was really dry. And then I pulled it out of its pot and I noticed it was dry all the way through. So it did get watered in the middle of the week, and it does feel a little damp right now. Now the roots are doing really good because I did pull it out and check. So this is how it looks, and I'll tidy that up when I put her back. And the other thing I've been doing for her is I'll take her out, mist the inside of this container, and put her back, just helping keep a little more humidity around her. But pretty soon I'll probably put her in a bigger pot with the same amount of moss and the same amount of bark. and slowly work her to bark. And Alfinia, so these are all the ones that are getting water twice a week. And this is my little ploric orchid. And she's doing good and getting another bud. And I'm hoping to see a leaf on Sheriana. She's doing good. Her root system is good. I'm just doing the ones that are actually still left in the house. And I did leave the basket in the house. And for some reason, this one flowered last year just after I put it in the basket, and it was a poor flower. This year it's better. And I think the others, they've got stronger. They were a bunch I put in a basket that were almost dead, and I almost got rid of. So they're coming along quite nicely. Now, this is the orchid I got before that from April 10th, 2022, and she's getting a new leaf. Her leaves are still firm and upright, and she is out in the patio, but there is a lot of good root growth coming, and I'll show you the other side. I think there's another big one under here somewhere. So she is doing good, and of course in the traffic cone that I potted not too long ago. And then before her, oh yes, this was the purple orchid here. It was the one I got before that one. This leaf is very firm, has a new leaf. This one isn't too bad, not wrinkly, but not real firm. And this one is similar. And it has said it wants to stay in this pot, and no one is going to remove it. So when it gets repotted, all I will do is shake out the bark and shake in new bark. So, and here is the one I cut the leaf off of, and in the back is the one that was in the same big pot as her. And she's doing good. All her leaves are happy. She has tons of roots. She's happy. So, and these are the two that I put in this sewer pot that were out in the greenhouse. So they're perked up, and darn it, this one, it wants to spike, and I really didn't want it to. So, and back in the back, Fal Memoria Retig, well, I found out over time she was very difficult to find information on. I did find some, I think it was here, but not. He had the same troubles I did. But if you get one, I have found they don't like any sun at all. They like to be in the corner. There's light coming through, but they're not getting any direct light, and she is much happier. So, traffic cones are doing really good. And of course, this one, it decided to flower late. This is the one that took a shock because it was in the traffic cone, and I ripped the roots off and took it out of the traffic cone when I repotted it. And I will never do that again. It took a shock, but it has got over it now, and it is trying to get a new leaf, and it's been working on that leaf for a while. So probably because of this beauty. So anyway, oh, and this one here, this was from September 3rd, 2021. And it's getting a new leaf. It has good root growth, and it's in the mini pot. And its two leaves are a little limp, but not real bad. This one's firmer, but I see progress coming anyway. So we'll just take a walk around this way. I heard you, Maggie. That is a beauty. I hope one day then when they flower, they'll all be flowering at once in that basket. So, this is the one that got injured before and I'd cut it off. Always watch for scale around those areas. And it has a nice new leaf come. It's always polka dot when they come, and then it changes. So it looks happy, it's settled in. So I haven't done the dendrobiums yet, but I will. So sorry about coughing. Oof. I could cut it out. I am not good at cutting out. I'm not good at cutting out pieces of my videos, but I'm working on it. So now that is about it. I'll show you where I watered, and then that should be it for today. So we'll go back in. I'll show you where they all sit too. So here was my watering. And I always have a little cup that I can just pour over. So, and there's my little measurer. Let me see, it's even open. And you can, oh, it's a pinch. It says just a pinch. There is one that says a smidgen too, so I don't use a lot of CalMag. So, and then over here is where they are now. And I have different misters, water fountains, because normally it gets so hot and dry that I keep everything above dishes. I found my traffic cones. I picked these up at garage sales or the dollar stores. Not the dollar stores, the thrift stores. You can get them for no more, $1, $2. And they're great to sit traffic cones on, because if you do want to give them a little extra water and they're sitting in the house or something, it stops that overspray. So I do that. So this is how they all sit over bowls that usually have water, and that's how they sit over here. And over here, now this is, I picked that up for $5 at the thrift store, because sometimes I sit out here and I want my tablet, or I'm working on some notes or studying something, and I like a desk and I like to have books near me. I thought, well, that's perfect. And I restained it and I verithaned it. So, and Jack has ordered the little hooks that they're on the other side, but they stop these. This does fold. These do fold. So, but like when I'm studying or something, it's very handy. So I thought, well, for $5. And then I haven't watered my houseplants or the dendrobiums yet. I see lots of good growth coming on this one. But this one I see no new growth yet. So I'm hoping to see something coming. So there, now we're going to say goodbye, and we'll see you soon.